Hi everyone, I'm so excited. I've just taken receipt of the new Derwent drawing coloured pencils, the 72 set. And this is the most exciting day of the year so far for me, hands down, where it comes to colouring, because I have been wanting a bigger set of these pencils for such a long time. And I know that I'm not the only one. There's so many people that have just been desperate to get their hands on more colours in these pencils because they are so incredibly soft. And, you know, if you're thinking, you know, if you really love pencils like Prismacolors and Uniposca and the ones that are so buttery and soft that they just blend effortlessly, you need to get your hands on some Derwent drawing, because they're my favourite Derwent pencil out of all of the lines that they do. I just find everything about them to be completely perfect. They've got such a chunky core. It's a 5mm core, so you know I think it's bigger than any pencil I've actually seen. You know, core wise, it's a lot thicker, it's stronger, but it's so soft. And the colours as well, everything's just lined up perfectly with these pencils. I can't fault them whatsoever. Now I have got the original largest set of the Derwent drawing, which is this one, the 24. And you know, 24 colours, okay, it's not the biggest set ever, but the colours that are within this set are unique and beautiful, and they're just so natural. I'm going to show you the little swatch that I made for the 24 set, just so you can see sort of what you're getting when you buy Derwent pencils, Derwent drawing pencils rather, because they describe them as nature's palette. So if you're looking for nature inspired colours, natural, perfect for landscapes, portraiture, wildlife, that kind of thing, just look at these colours. I mean, they're so beautiful. These particular 24 are very desaturated, very muted, but still, you know, they've got such high quality pigments in that they have that vividness about them, even though they're desaturated. And they're just absolutely gorgeous pencils to use. So it's been very quick finding out about the new set of Derwent drawing, because the Derwent have kept it under wraps. So I'm assuming they've had these in production for at least a year, you know, to get them all the colours together and get all the formulations ready and then make the actual pencils and the tins. They've had to commission the artwork for the tin, I'll show you in a minute. So it's literally within the last probably week that there have been some stirrings on the Derwent social media saying that something new is coming, and you know, little video snippets, sneak peeks, and I sort of inferred from those videos that we were getting a bigger set of Derwent drawing. And it was, you know, everybody's been so excited at messaging me, you know, are we going to get Derwent drawing? And I'm like, I think so. And it's just been so exciting. And then obviously I received these today, and they're not actually being sold until the 1st of October. So that's the release date for the pencils, but I've got them now to show you in advance. So you're not getting to release day deciding whether or not you want them, and then they might get sold out, you know. So hopefully you can make your mind up sort of today from my video and see what they're all about and see what you think, and then you can get straight in there on the 1st of October. I will also have a 20% discount code for this. I'll tell you more about that at the end of the video. So if you're wanting to buy any of the new Derwent drawing stuff, I've got a really chunky discount code for you. So right, let's just get on with it, because everyone wants me to shut up and open the package. So this is how it came, and look how beautiful the packaging. We've got some beautiful dried wildflowers here. Tell me what all these are, guys. Tell me what all these are, because you know I'm no good with plants and stuff. This is like wheat. It looks like wheat, I don't know. Beautiful. Again, just matching the tones, that whole feeling of being in nature and nature inspired, the colours that you get in this. I just really love how they've packaged it. It's so simple and perfect and so natural. Look, it's like the brown paper and the twine. Gorgeous. So I'm going to open the little bow. So I'm seeing them for the first time with you. That's what I wanted to do, because I wanted to get, you know, first impressions together. I'm just going to take off all the twine and the ribbon. So we'll now open the outer packaging. Oh, you knew I was going to rip it. Had to happen. I'm trying not to, because I would like to reuse some of this for my junk journals and things, if I ever get round to it. So let's see if I can just slide the tin out. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pull it up out of the glare for you so you can see better. Look at that commissioned artwork. This is illustrated by Jess Pritchard. Wow, that is gorgeous. Look at the tiger and the human sort of amalgamation going on. And then of course you've got the beautiful mountainscape, the trees, look at the sky. And of course, every time we get a Derwent product with artwork on the tin like this, it has all been completed with the pencils that are inside. So it's just showing you that range of tones, giving you a little bit of inspiration about, you know, the natural landscapes that you can colour and things like that. So on the tin itself, it says 72 coloured pencils, soft, thick core pencils with a creamy texture and nature-inspired colour palette. Let's have a look at the back. Derwent drawing pencils feature our widest and softest core, available in a range of nature-inspired colours. The rich, creamy texture makes it easy to blend colours and build layers, achieving a smooth, opaque finish while quickly creating depth and texture. Highly light fast and available in 72 colours. So they're also light fast as well, which is fantastic. So we'll open up the tin. Let's turn the tin over. And just on the inside of the tin, you've got a little bit about Derwent as a brand, their background. You know, they've got a heritage dating back to 1832, and it just tells you a little bit about that in all the different languages as well. And then here are the pencils. So excited. They look exactly the same as, you know, the Derwent pencils, the Derwent drawing pencils have always looked. So they have the same colour core, same colour barrel. I'm so excited, I'm tripping over my words. They've got the same colour barrel, they look the same, but obviously we've got a massive increase in colours here. So I'm just going to remove the cellophane, keeps it in place. I can't wait to swatch these, I cannot wait. You know, if you haven't tried the Derwent drawing range before and, you know, you want to see if they're for you, Derwent are really good at offering open stock on pretty much all of their pencils. So when these become available, if you want to give them a quick test out, get yourself a couple, you know, open stock, and just try them. And I'm sure that you will fall in love with them, unless you really like the very hard oil-based kind of pencils that you have to layer up. These ones are, you're just getting bang for your buck immediately as soon as you put them to the paper. So let's have a look then. We've got 2 trays. Oh, I can't believe there's this many now. You know what I'm hoping they do as well? I don't want to, obviously I'm super excited and pleased and grateful that we've got a 72 set, but I'm wondering if they're kind of putting this out there, put the feelers out, and then they may extend to 150 if everyone, you know, likes them and they get a lot of sales and stuff. Oh my God, that would be immense. I will be using these pencils day in, day out. I don't know. I'd have to keep using my Prismas because of the colours and stuff, because these are obviously nature inspired and they're very muted and stuff and earthy. So if they could bring out all of the bright colours as well as, I know it's kind of against what the Derwent drawing pencils are about because they're not earthy and stuff, but if they could, these would be my go-to every single day pencils. So I just love them that much. I've spun them round so we can have a look at all the colours at the same time. So starting off with the top layer, we've got our ochres, like yellow ochres. Obviously there's not going to be any super bright yellows, super bright reds, you know, because this is not what this set is about. This is all kind of colours that you would find in nature, in flowers, in plants, that kind of thing. So we've got ochre yellows going into some kind of burnt reds, orangey reds. And then we've got some desaturated lighter pinks going into mauve and lavender colours. Then we've got like a periwinkle blue, that's gorgeous. Moving down into like forget-me-not blues and that sort of thing. And then we move into the greens. So we've got some lovely sort of sea foam green colours as well. And this is a really nice colour, it's quite bright. That's called Distant Green. Then we've got some desaturated, very greyish greens, which are always handy. These aren't colours that you would typically find in coloured pencil sets, because you're always getting the brights and the darks, and the in-betweens and the desaturated colours you don't often find unless you've got like a massive set of pencils. So we move into the greens then. Again, not incredibly vibrant greens, but we've got a couple of nice spring greens there. Then we're going into sort of greyish blue greens, which are really nice too. And then of course we're going to have a big set of browns. So these are more like umbers, raw umber, and those sort of earthy browns. We've got a few more ochre type colours here. And this, is this the white? Oh no, the white's at the end. We've got a couple of colours that are very close to a white. This is a really creamy colour, this champagne. And then what's that one called? Let's have a quick look. Wheat. That may have been a colour we had in the first set, I think it was. Then we've got the reddish browns. So you've got your cooler browns and your warmer browns. This looks a little bit purpley. That's interesting. I can't wait to swatch them. And then we're going into some really deep colours, black, very, you know, almost black colours. And then we've got our greys as well, which are really important. There's a plethora of greys here. We've got the cooler or more neutral ones, and then we've got the warmer ones as well. And then the very end, we've got the Chinese white, which is fantastic. It's a brilliant white. We've got the oyster, which seems to have a little bit of a pink tinge to it. And then this is the Arctic, which, let's compare that to the Chinese white. Yeah, it's just slightly grayer, I think, or maybe even with a blue tinge. Yeah, possibly. So there are the colours sort of at a glance. Now, as I mentioned, these Derwent drawing pencils are, I believe, the thickest pencils that Derwent make. So they've got a really, really thick, sturdy barrel, and the cores themselves are 5mm. It's very rare that you would find a 5mm core. I can't think of any other coloured pencil that has it. Maybe one of the watercolour pencils, like maybe a Faber-Castell Magnum. Is it Magnum or Magnus? Anyway, nothing as thick as this in a normal standard coloured pencil. And they're just so nice to hold. They feel really robust, and yeah, I love them. I think they're absolutely fantastic. I just cannot wait to swatch them. So that's what I'm going to do now. And then I'm going to come back to you and we'll go through all of the beautiful colours together. Okay, so I finished swatching and I was not disappointed. I'm in love with this palette. I absolutely adore each and every single colour that is on this set. I don't think I can say that about many pencil sets. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to use them. Let's go through the colours then. So I'm going to zoom you in, make sure we've got nice and clear view of all of them. Okay, there we go. So as I said at the start, you've got your ochre type yellows. Now, when you look at the actual ochres over here in the brown section, you will see that they are a lot brighter and more yellow. But if you compared these to your standard yellows that you would get in a coloured pencil set, they definitely are more desaturated and more muted and give more of an ochre feel than a standard yellow. So as we go through, we've got our yellows going into golds, then our burnt oranges, the apricot and the autumn leaf, the rust, so we're getting into deep orangey reds, very rustic. Then we have the autumn red and rioja. These are two gorgeous colours. They're leaning into pink a little bit more. So they're still very red based, but they are leaning to pink. Then we've got all of the peachy colours. So your light sienna, light rusk, dusky pink and bista. Fantastic sort of light flesh colours. Then we've got the ash rose and the burnt rose, which are absolutely gorgeous. They are very vintage, so it really gives that old kind of world look to it. You know, it's colours that you might find in sort of Victorian posters and things like that. I just love them. So then we've got the grape as well. These three colours are a fantastic tricolour blend, by the way. Then we go into the soft violet and the heather, which is definitely more of a red violet, but moving into the purple. Then we have the kind of standard violet, the violet dusk here, and that moves down into, let me move the paper up a little bit, into the slate violet, which is definitely a greyed lavender kind of colour. So you've got your red violet tones and you've got your more standard violet tones. Then we're going up into the blues. So we've got the Delft blue, royal blue, teal and polar ice. This is not what I would necessarily call a teal blue. It's more of a periwinkle in my opinion, but these all blend together really nicely. The teal and the royal are perfect matches. And then the Delft blue is, you could use that as a darker blend for your royal and your teal, but it is just slightly off when you're looking at undertones. So, but that would work. Then you've got the polar ice and the deep Atlantic, which are both beautiful oceanic blues. That's how I would, I mean, obviously Atlantic and polar, the clue's in the name, Claire. But yeah, I love these colours. Then we've got something very different, which is the Solway blue. And if my memory serves, this is one of the colours that was in the original 24 set. It's very grey. It blends in with the ink blue really nicely. This ink blue has an undertone of the Solway. So them two together, perfect blend. You could go the other way and go with the ash, then the smoke, then the ink to make this 3 blend. So there's different blends that you can use. This is why I find it really difficult sometimes to do the colour family charts, because there's different blends that you can go with depending on what colour you start with. That makes zero sense, but I'll explain it a bit later. But you can go this way, or you can go this way with the ink blue. Then you've got your fir and spruce green. Again, fantastic blends. Smoke, fir, spruce. They will be a brilliant tricolour blend. Tricolour blend, is that even a word? Then you've got that distant green that I said was very minty, very fresh, quite vibrant according to the other colours that we've got here. But if you put that next to a green in a different set, this would look very muted and desaturated. So it's nice and minty and fresh. Then we've got the pale cedar green shadow and the crag green, which are all sort of very similar to each other, very grey, very dull, but again, very true to life, very realistic earthy colours. Now, what I was on about earlier with the, you can go any way with a colour to blend it. I can sort of tell you this with these colours here. So we've got the fresh green, the moss green and the light moss. Now, you could very easily make a blend with the light moss and the moss green if you wanted this sort of tone, this look. Or you could get rid of the light green and you could make an even brighter green tone with the fresh and the moss. But you see how different they would be. It's just you've got that central colour that can go either way. It can blend with each one. Very much like the Prismacolor apple green. So you can go into your spring greens or you can go into your lime peel kind of colours. That's what I mean. Then we've got green earth, which is definitely on the brownish side. I would put that up there with olive earth. I'll show you in a second. And we've got rainforest and sage leaf. So rainforest would blend really nicely with the light moss, but it would also blend equally as nicely with the sage leaf because they've got the same undertone. So here's that olive earth, and you see what I mean. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see them both on the same, where are we? Green earth, there's green earth, and here's olive green, right? So you can see those two together, they have the same undertone. So you could blend those just as nicely. I would have put that one up there, and that's where I'll put it if I do a colour family chart. If you want one, holler up, let me know. I'll try and sort it out. Then you've got some cooler browns, the warm earth, the woodland and the dark brown. Again, you could easily make a 3-colour blend there. You've then got your ochre colours, so again, very yellowish, but very brown too. You've got wheat, light ochre, yellow ochre and brown. That's the colour family order that I would put those in. And then you've got your red sepia. So we're going into warmer browns now. Mars orange, sanguine, Venetian red, terracotta. Those are all, you know, of the same family. So I would put those all together. The Venetian red I would put after the terracotta because it's a little bit darker. Then you've got these two rather interesting colours called Mars Violet and Ruby Earth. The Mars Violet isn't a new colour to Derwent. I've seen it before. I'm going to say in the Derwent Light Fast. Maybe even in the Chroma Flow. I've seen this colour before. It's a very muted, very greyish, pinky purple colour. That's how I can describe it. But those two colours go really well together. Then you have got, let me move you up a little bit. There we go. Yep. Then you've got the chocolate, which is the darkest brown. It's literally a few shades from black. It is super, super dark. When you compare it with the ivory black, you can see that this is definitely blacker than the chocolate, but it's also not the most, excuse me, opaque black I've ever seen. It's got a bit of a grey, sort of, maybe even bluish tinge to it. Maybe even green, actually. There's a little bit of green in there, I think. But when you think about nature, you don't often see pure black in nature. So that's in keeping with the theme of the set, that it's not a pure, deep, dark black. Then we've got the Midnight, which is definitely blue. If I, you know, compare that to the Ivory, I can see green in here. I can see blue in Midnight. Then we've got the Forest, which is definitely green. You know, I could put that over here with the green earth even. I think if you went deep enough with this colour, you'd end up here. So yeah, lots of deep options there. Then we're starting with the greys. So we've got the Mist and the Platinum. The Mist is giving a warm grey feel to me. There's a platinum platypus. Platinum grey is cooler and more silvery. So then with the greys at the top, we have the Carbon grey, the warm, the cool and the Granite. I would not class this as a cool grey. This is still very much within warm for me. So the Granite, it's more neutral or possibly warm leaning than it is cool. So I would say the only cool grey we've really got is the Platinum. But you could make these blends work. You could make the Granite work with the Platinum. Cool grey at a push, but it still looks very warm to me. The warm grey colour is very reminiscent of the French greys. It's got a lot of brown in there. Then we go down to the Taupe and the Fossil. These have, again, like the Mars Violet, they've got that pinky purple but incredibly grey feel to them. Then we've got the Arctic, which is another colour in the Derwent Light Fast range, and it's a very, very light Arctic polar kind of pale blue. So I really like having the, you know, the light, very, very light tints of colour. Then we've got the Oyster, which is an incredibly light pink. You could put it over there with the Ash Rose and it would probably be the same sort of undertone as that Ash Rose. So I'd put those in a family together, but it is incredibly light. And then finally we've got the Chinese White, which is a very lauded pencil in the colouring community because it is so opaque. You can see I've put it on black here so you can really see that opacity, the brightness of the Chinese White and how well it covers as well. So there is all the colours. Let me zoom you out again. There we go. I'll put them off to one side. Now let's talk a little bit about the cons of the pencils. I don't know whether you'd call it a con, but because they are so soft, they can be quite crumbly. So they can leave quite a bit of debris and dust on the page. And if you go to wipe it across with your hand, you may get smudging because the pigments and the makeup of the pencil is just so soft. You can't really avoid that. I would say get yourself a makeup brush that moves the dust without smudging it, because if you do it with the side of your hand, you've got the oils on your hand, you've got a bit more pressure and that will make a smudge. But if you're using a very light sort of makeup brush, it will be fine. So that's that. The other thing that I've struggled with is a couple of the pencils breaking. Now literally this has only happened with 2 pencils, one worse than the other. As you can see, this Slate Violet is now tiny and it's still not sharpening right. It's still breaking. I think that this was probably dropped or maybe in the machinery when they were making the pencil. For some reason, it has shattered all the way down the core. Now, I have tried my mechanical pencil sharpener, which is a Dahl, what is it? A Dahl 133. Didn't work. I tried my electric pencil sharpener, which is usually really good for any pencils that are prone to breakage, but again was broken. I even tried just your normal bog standard silver sharpener, wouldn't work, and as you can see I still can't get it to sharpen. I'm wondering whether it's to do with the fact that it is this pale violet colour, because I know that Faber-Castell had a problem with the light violet polychromos and they since discontinued it because the pigment was not very stable. I'm just wondering whether that's what's happening here because of the colour that it is. It's just not very strong and stable. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping this is just a dud pencil, and when I buy another one, because obviously we'll be able to get these as open stock, when I buy a replacement it should be fine. I will keep you up to date with that because I know people will be asking and they'll want to know. The other pencil that I had a bit of a problem with, but not to the same extent, was the Ivory Black. So this one was broken as soon as I put it down to the paper. The tip just went straight away, and I sharpened it up and it's completely fine. So this has had one sharpen and it's stable, it's not coming off, you know, the core seems to be okay. It was just that very first touch to paper and that broke it. So the rest of them absolutely fine, not a problem whatsoever. I'm going to sharpen one now so that you can see me do it. I'm going to use the Doll 133. Make sure there's no purple leads left in that because it kept blocking with the purple leads. Let me move this out of the way. Let's give it a sharpen. And remove it. Oh wow, so we've got a really nice long point there, and yep, it's stable, sturdy. That is not going anywhere. So if you have a light hand when you're colouring, you should be fine anyway. If you have a bit of a stronger pressure, you may find that they're just a little bit crumbly. But as you can see, I've just sharpened that one to an incredibly long point, and it is super stable. I'm just going to do a bit of colouring with it just to show you that it's not breaking, and we'll go down in a bit of harder pressure as well. This is just a scratch. I'm not trying to colour beautifully, I just want to show you how it's not breaking at all. So they are strong and sturdy pencils. They'd have to be with an 8mm barrel and a 5mm core. That's what you're expecting. I just think that this particular pencil was broken from the start all the way down. And yeah, when I get a replacement, I will definitely keep you up to date whether or not that happens with the replacement. If you want an in-depth look at how these pencils act on paper, how they blend, layer, and all sorts of other details, please watch my initial Derwent drawing review, which I have linked in the description below. Let's talk about the price that these pencils are expected to sell for. They're not on the Derwent website yet because obviously they don't come out till the 1st of October, but Cult Pens have them on pre-order at £175 for the 72 set. And they've also bought a 36 set out for £89. So that's, I'm guessing we're around that ballpark. However, I did mention at the start of the video that I do have a code for you. I'm going to put that code on screen now, and this will work on the Derwent website itself. So you've got the code, you can go to Derwent on the 1st of October, buy your pencils, get yourself a cheeky 20% off, and hope that you enjoy using them. Here's an illustration I coloured about 3 years ago with the original 24 set of Derwent drawing pencils. It's from the World of Wonder colouring book by Johanna Basford, and I absolutely love how vintage and delicate and very muted it looks. It just shows you what you can achieve with a completely different palette than you're used to, because my usual style is colouring with bold and vibrant colours, and this just really lends itself to kind of colouring antique, delicate glassware and metalwork. It's absolutely stunning. Like I said, it's so far from how I would normally colour that I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what else I can create with the extended 72 set of Derwent drawing pencils. I'll be bringing that to you soon. Just keep your eye out on my social medias, and I'm really excited to use them in more colouring in the future. I'll leave links to the Derwent website and that discount code in the description below. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please leave me a comment, click the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll see you soon on Colour with Claire.